Hello. Okay, I get to do this a little different today. This is a transformational tip Tuesday with Coach Liz, and I have Coach Jamie here. I'm actually in town for our other brand, Relentless Glory, and I didn't want to not do this. So, and we had the idea of getting on here together, and I mean our views, what makes us happy is different, but it's double the trouble with us both here. So it's going to be nice to be able to share with you ways that we find genuine happiness in a crazy world, because that's what we're living in. So I'll go ahead and let you start with how do you find your genuine happiness?
Oh, okay, so you guys are gonna learn this very quickly about me. I don't know how to do anything at a surface level, so I'm gonna dive right in. Very, very simply put, before I do, is I believe happiness is a choice. So for me personally, we can see the bad or the good in something, but I think that where that genuine aspect of happiness is going to come from is building self-confidence and recognizing your self-worth. And her, I mean, obviously you guys know her, you follow her all the time. We are both women of God. And so I think that a relationship with God, he fills a part of happiness that nothing of this earth is capable of doing. But past that, I think, again, it comes to your own self-worth, because you can have, there's a quote, I'm a quote Nazi, is we are only capable of receiving the love we think we deserve. So I could be showing up and I could be giving Liv pizza, flowers, vacations, money, all of these things. And if she doesn't think that she deserves it, she's never going to be happy with those things. So for me, I think a lot of it is your self-confidence and recognizing just the self-love, self-worth that you should be having with yourself, and choosing to seek that and align yourself with that rather than the things that genuinely you thought were going to bring you happiness and didn't. And then secondly, that relationship with God is something that I think very much helps keep me happy in those moments. So that would be me.
I agree with you, Jamie, as far as the whole happiness is a choice thing. And there are certain times I won't even let myself think about a certain thing. I won't let myself get to a certain thought pattern, because I know that that'll blow me off track. So it's really having that self-awareness over time. Yes, happiness is a choice. I can choose to look at the good. I can choose to look at the benefits. And me, it's when I need to reset after a stressful time, a stressful situation, I go out in nature. That is how I go. And if I can't, then I take time to listen. I listen to a lot of worship music, because we are God girls, and that is a true source for us. And for those people that don't, that aren't spiritual or anything, just taking box breathing to get into the present moment, so you stop thinking about. Because I'll do this when I start to get anxious. I'll notice when I get anxious, I'm hold on, my but that's the level of self-awareness that I've just recently gotten to. But starting out, I used to have the worst temper. Something could make me mad, and I would stay mad for so long. And something's in my eye. Sorry guys. Something got in my eye, and I'm trying to okay. But yeah, I'd have the worst temper, and it would be really hard for me to get in a better mood once I was in a bad mood and I was super hot-headed as a teenager. Me too, sis. And that's our weapon. And but then as I got older and I stopped taking things so seriously, I stopped allowing things to have so much power over me. And I'm Jamie will say she's a control freak, but there are certain things when it comes to my energy that I won't even allow myself. And that's really, it's that thinking pattern, because it's I'm not going to allow somebody to have that much power over me. I'm also a huge empath. I feel energies like a mofo. So it's feeling bad vibes, feeling stuff. I start to just get quiet. I start to retract, but also think of the things up above. Think of the benefits. Think of the positive things. That has helped me have genuine happiness, and also remembering how good I actually got it, counting my blessings. Even when I get anxiety, because it's not even about getting mad for me anymore, it's more so about getting stressed out and worried. and thinking about the things that are out of my control. And so, but those things take away from my happiness. Because when I'm focusing on those things, I'm not happy. And for happiness to truly be a choice, I have to focus on the good things that are going on and the blessings that I already have.
Do you mind if I share a common self-assessment that I just noticed between
Yeah.
the two of those? And as you were saying it the whole time, like I was reflecting of like the old me and how irritated and just how much eye rolling I would have done to hear somebody say this, because I never thought that I would be on this side of the table saying it. But what we feed our minds and what we feed our body too. Like I used to go to alcohol for everything. Like if I was stressed, alcohol's a depressant. So when you put things in your body that make you feel like trash, and like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, your girl loves some cake. Like cookie dough and cake are my weaknesses. I will eat them. I love them. They make me happy, genuinely happy, in moderation, right? Because like the more things like that you feed your mind, like the angry music you listen to, the violent stuff you watch on TV, the negative toxicity that like surrounds us. Yes, that is happening in the world. I think that we need to be aware of those things, but when we get so fixated on it, that's gonna that's gonna increase and enable that ability for us to stay in an angry space, because we're surrounded by that. What we give our attention to is what we're going to attract more of. And so I think even when you eat food that makes you feel good, your body's going to feel better. You're going to move better. When you do things that make your body feel better, like going for a walk, being in nature, and just breathing in the fresh air, getting a good sweat, like whatever, like getting a good night's sleep, choosing to read books on things that matter and make you feel just productive and happy, and like learning more about yourself to be able to learn who you really are and what really matters to you. And I think that just what we feed our minds and our body and our soul are just as important to bringing that genuine happiness.
Listen, let me tell you about because you're talking about cigarettes. For you, it's like cigarettes to go to. And I'll be honest, I smoked Black and Milds from the age of 18 to 26. I vaped from 26 until December. And when I say I quit, I truly quit, it was because that was one of the things that I had to die to. We just did a live on our brand Relentless Glory with an amazing woman called named Genesis Dorsey. And we were really talking about surrendering and stuff like that. And that's one of those things, just for you, Kristen, just to help you out, like asking if since you mentioned God, asking Him to really take that from you. Because listen, it's not easy. I will agree with you. It is not easy, and if that's your go-to. And me, like too, we didn't mention this yet, but like having friends that you can just be real with. No, I'm not saying using your friends as your therapist. That's not what I'm saying. But having those relationships where it's like there's no judgment, there's no condemnation, and those are hard to come by. I understand. It's hard to get comfortable with people like that. But and you don't need a whole bunch of people like that. You just need one person. And you don't necessarily need that one person because there is God. But if you don't have that type of relationship, it's great to have that one person to lean on too, but not so much, like I said, not as a therapist, but as a genuine friend where you're feeding into each other. And that's another thing with you mentioning, you are what you consume is actually a post that I did yesterday. We are what we digest. We're all what we bring in. Like you focus on the negative, that's what you won't have in your life. You focus on you want to find a problem, there's tons of them. And that's why happiness is such a choice, because you have to choose it over the current circumstances.
Okay, so I like tough love, and I know that this is still supposed to be about genuine happiness, but like I think also like when it comes to self-care, and people are like the wine and bubble bath and the massages and the vacations, like no, that's not self-care. Self-care is ugly, it's grimy, and it's having to work through the hard stuff. And like as far as like that outlet of like having a glass of wine and you feel like it soothes you, having that cigarette to take the edge off. We talked about this earlier, I think this weekend, and it's, to me, like choose your hard. It's hard to stop a habit that you've been doing so long, but it's also hard to feel stuck and be in a vicious cycle of that comfort of just darkness. And but either way, it's gonna be hard, and there's no comparison of what that hard is. So if we could just expect that both will be hard, think of braces. You can't throw braces on your teeth for 24 hours and expect your teeth to stay straight. You got to go through the awkward phases of where your sores in your mouth and you can't eat the foods you want to eat. But man, at the end, when you can take those braces off and you got those pearly whites all straightened out, it was worth it, right? So it's like sometimes it is going to be hard to stop some of those habits that help us take that temporary edge off to make us feel good in the moment, to start submitting and letting go of those things to create the better habits that can allow us to feel the best version of ourselves. Because when we're the best version of ourselves, we can genuinely seek that happiness.
And this just came to me, but like we got to stop comparing. Like we live in a world where we just compare ourselves and our situations, our journeys, our struggles, and everything to everybody else. But in actuality, you are on your own battle, like your own journey, and you are just comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday. And if you're constantly beating yourself up, that self-talk is so important. And
you can read that far. I don't
yeah.
know that far. I'm trying not to have this face of like, because I can't see that far.
And honestly, Kristen, like my suggestion when it comes to like losing friends and trying to find the right people, think about what
you got us.
Absolutely, but like if
we be your friends.
But when you have like, if you want to find local friends, if you want to be around like-minded people that
There's
are
so many Facebook groups. Just search them even.
Yeah.
That's how we met. We met in a freaking Facebook group 2 years ago, and just this weekend when I picked her up from the airport, this is the first time we've met in person.
And give it time. Like I'm married too. Like I'm a military wife. So like when it comes to finding friends, and I'm one of those people that I love having friends. It was really hard. It was, oh my goodness, like the first move, like it took me like 9 months or 10 months to like find my people, to even like the location I was in. The second move, it was temporary because I evacuated from a hurricane, and I didn't want to get too attached to some people, but then I have friends that I met in Atlanta that I'm still friends with. And now I live on the Illinois side of St. Louis, and I mean, it took me, again, it was a 9, 10, 11 month process. Granted, I had gotten to a Facebook group for military wives. I did find 2 friends, but it was still so hard because I didn't feel like I had that community. So I relate to you on so many things because you feel like you kind of want to break, and you kind of feel guilty too for wanting that break, but it's okay to have that, Kristen. I want you to know that, and thank you so much for sharing so honestly what you're going through and the things that you have, and I really appreciate this. And because no, we all struggle and we all battle in different areas of our lives. Like there's always something that we're missing, but the point is to not focus on what you're missing. It's to focus on what you have. Because what we take for granted, so there's somebody out there that wants it, and there was a past version of ourselves that wanted it too. And what's that saying when we're like not even appreciating the things that we have? I'm in the Bible Belt, so many churches and so many legalisms. Oh yeah, do you follow our Relentless Glory page, by the way? Because I understand what you're saying with the legalism and everything, because like that's real. That is a real thing. Okay, just making sure. But yeah, I'd honestly suggest getting on Bumblebee. Like seriously, like everybody's not going to be your people, but like.
Think about where like the next version of you would want to hang out. Like I'll be honest, like for me, I'm the opposite side of her on this, where I'm an Enneagram 8. I don't know if you guys get down on Enneagrams, but I'm a loner. I prefer to not be like around people. Like I'm very, I don't like trusting people. I will only share X amount. I keep everybody at an arm's like distance, and I'm still always super bubbly like this. And actually, even though I have a lot of people that like, I love people, I feed and fuel off of like other energies with people like that, like bring sunshine, right? But I always like to isolate, and I stay very much to myself. And it wasn't until I had actually moved to Austin, I was born and raised Catholic, so everything was very, very rule-based. I didn't hang out with people at my church. I am insanely into fitness. I didn't go hang out with people outside the gym. Like I got my fix of like friends while I was working out with them, where we weren't even talking anyways, and I would just go home and do my own thing. And I didn't understand community and finding good people until I got here in Austin. And I'm like, okay, well, I should probably connect with people who like to do the same things that I do. And I'm like, holy smokes, duh. Why wouldn't I hang out with people that go to church? Like, I like going to church. I want to be a person who's closer to God, so I should probably hang out with those kind of people that equally want to be closer to God. I like working out, so I should probably go hang out with other people who do work out instead of people that are getting wasted at the bar every single night. I want to learn how to bowl. Go hang out in a bowling alley, and that's how you can actually meet those like-minded people. And there is one thing, and I think did this conversation earlier too. Notice how you feel after you leave from meeting people. If you feel drained, that is a sign those aren't your people. If you feel energized, like I felt like I have been on like Red Bull and cocaine this whole weekend. I'm sorry. We're being real.
I love it.
Because I can't sleep because like we've just been charged up, like we haven't stopped talking at all. Because I'm like, dude, I got more. Oh my gosh, you made me think of this. Like I feel so amped up on life because you're awesome and now I feel awesome. When you feel charged up by people, that's how you know you find your people. But you also have to be willing to love yourself enough that you deserve to go out and meet those people that you would want to hang out with. Nice night, face.
Yes, Bree. Thank you for that. It is important for people to not feel alone. They all disappeared when I quit living lukewarm and got serious about my walk with Jesus. And listen, go follow our Relentless Glory page. We actually got a lot of content coming out about what it's really like the benefits of having godly friendships. We talked about that yesterday when we were doing our filming together. And it's so powerful to have those, because it's like we talked about how we are constantly helping each other become better because we're constantly correcting each other, but with love and kindness and not from a way of condemnation. That's a lot of legalism that you find in the church. And having those relationships that can be that genuine, that you can go to, it's a huge thing for me. I'm an Enneagram 3. For those of you that are into Enneagrams, and I am so like the overachiever, the go-getter, the like, I love people and I'm super, super social. So like, but I also do like to have like my time to myself. I think that's a COVID effect. COVID is such, COVID has changed things for real. And so I do like my time alone, but yeah, just like Jamie said, like evaluate how you feel after you spend time with people. And evaluate how you feel after you watch something. Do you feel inspired? Do you feel fearful? And I've seen a lot of people do this. They're talking about it's either a hell yes or a hell no. And that's the kind of like the stage I'm in my life too. Like I'm either like totally for it or I'm like, nope. If it's not a thing, I will remove myself from the situation because I'm just like, I cannot. If I start to notice more things and being self-aware, like there's some times that I'm just like, why do I feel anxious about this? Why do I feel like this way? And like, honestly, some of my most genuine happiness came from looking in the dirty mirror. And what I mean by that is looking at the things that are not so perfect or not so great or not so amazing about myself. You know, the things that you don't even want to like tell other people or admit to. That's where true growth comes from. That's where all of these things come. And I'm tired, like there's so many external factors like, oh yeah, if it comes from the outside, it will never fix the yearning that you want on the inside. Ooh. And healing, focusing on healing a lot of childhood wounds, that has caused me to have a lot more genuine happiness. And do I have bad days? Hell yes. Okay? Yes, they happen, they come, but they're a lot, it's more so bad moments than bad days. And every day is not going to be a good day. Some days are, I call them test days, she calls them Saturdays. But they're those days when it's dark and it's hard and it's like you don't see a way out of your current situation. So this is advice for genuine happiness for the people that not only have like a regular life, but also deal with those really dark days. and understanding that you're not alone in those dark days, and you will get past those dark days. And sometimes you just need to allow yourself to feel your emotions and let them go, and not necessarily hold on to them. What do you think?
I think my final takeaway on that is all emotions are necessary and all emotions are temporary. And if we didn't have those ugly days, if we didn't experience the sorrow, we wouldn't know how to appreciate the happiness when we had it. And so I think that just reminding yourself that this too shall pass, right? Like, so, hey, this doesn't feel good now. And is it in my control to be able to get out of it? Is it that I'm focusing on the wrong thing? Is it that these aren't my people? This isn't what brings me joy? I think looking in would be huge. But yeah, just know that all emotions are necessary, and that's how we appreciate the good ones.
Seriously. And I mean, you saying that too, it makes me think, like, because I'm always saying, like, think about when you feel your emotions, you go through what you're going through. How can you get through it? How could you teach somebody else out of it? And if you're talking to you, evaluate the way you talk to yourself when you're in those situations too. Like, how would I speak to a friend this way? Would I speak to a baby this way? Now, if a baby falls down and when it's learning how to walk, you don't tell it, okay, no, just stay down there. You ain't never gonna walk. No, you tell it to keep going. I think that our society, because of instant gratification and because of things moving so fast, we tend to get to the point where it's like we try something, we fail, and we just can't bounce back. It just throws us completely off track. Or we'll do it a couple of times and it's just like, oh no, this doesn't work for me. And then we start to do this negative self-talk and all this other crap, and like that's going to be beneficial, and it's really not. We just need to try again.
I have a song that popped in my head. It's not a crazy oldie. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
I don't know this song.
It was a rock and roll song in the 90s. I get knocked down,
but I get up again. Okay, I do know that song. I didn't know the title. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Go get genuinely happy by listening to that song after this.
You know, that too. I also have a happiness kit of the things that I know that make me happy. So if you're watching this and it's something, and if you catch this on replay, let us know. But if you really find that you're not in a good season right now and it's a hard time, write down all the things that make you happy, and then see how often you're actually spending time doing those things, because a lot of times we're not doing enough of what we love. And we have to do what we love, because life is so limited. We are in the moments. Past is gone, the present is uncertain. We're right here, right now. So love your life, love the people you're with, love who you are. And as Bree's saying, yes, it's important to protect your peace. So important. If you don't follow Coach Jamie, follow Coach Jamie. If you don't follow Relentless Glory, definitely check out Relentless Glory. If you're relating to the Christ-driven brand and you like to see more stuff from both of us, that is where you're going to find more stuff from both of us. We're creating something that is not even to do with us. It's completely about God and helping others when it comes to God. It's yeah, we talk about these types of things, but it's definitely more God focused and how it can help you in your life with, just getting through the whole life, just lifing, with getting through lifing. Anything else you want to say?
This is just cool. Thank you for listening to me on this live with Coach Liv. You guys are all blessed to know this amazing human soul, because I know I'm super blessed that I officially got to meet her in person, and even through social media. I promise you, she's just as authentic no matter what spectrum you get to catch her in. So I'm just grateful for this amazing human. That's all I got.
Bye, guys. Finish. Exit.